think we lost you yesterday, brother.
Yeah. I'm in 2 server rooms, and we're running the algos right now, and I hired a little staff in the background.
Nice.
And they're helping me button up some things here. I'm gonna move up to the penthouse in my hotel I just bought.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody came on YouTube and said, "Oh yeah, they gave me $1 million last night for the algo." So
Nice.
yeah,
You should have.
I couldn't resist.
I saw the euro plunge, and then I couldn't see whether your scalps were getting taken out because I didn't know where the targets were. I couldn't read the screen; it's too far. But I said, "Wow, he caught the plunge, and hopefully he got out because that was the way to play it."
Oh, the expressions were on those things. I think like 4 hours or something. I don't know. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I was just playing around with the NASDAQ scripts I wrote.
Okay.
Test driving these. Try to get my hotkey keyboard running. It didn't seem to take the macros. It didn't seem to like what I did, but I can just double click on it here. So I put on the Discord, I put the buy pack, some market orders, and it's got some limit orders in there. It's just how deep you're going to run them.
Right.
So I'm running this for nothing more than an hour. It's like 300. It's like 350 bips, 350 points deep, with a 75 pip stop. It's a monster stop. Like the NASDAQ's just been up and down already again, so just nothing but range trading. Big recovery. Now it's just pulling off the floor. I'm gonna run the buy limits now. You gotta stay on top of it though. You can't be distracted when you're gonna run these 15-minute half hours. You gotta come back every half hour to see what's going on.
Sure.
If it needs to.
Sure.
It's kind of like something you're cooking in the kitchen, and you can put something on it to tame it down, so to speak. These limit orders. And you really, the problem with it's like a kitchen that's kind of like not a safe. Nothing cooks the same, so
Right.
you just have like tools, It's got a range, like if it's boiling, throw this on it. If it's not, also the seems like the hedge bots are making money here today too. I'm looking at the 5-minute.
Oh.
The 5-minute chart there. The NASDAQ, man, I think it's falling up that. I'll put the NASDAQ screen up here. Switch screens on your side. I got a dual switch now. I'll put the NASDAQ up.
Are
NASDAQ's
you
crazy.
trying to do that idea of getting the size of the candles, like the way that Nick was doing it for NASDAQ, like look for a 30 wide candle and then start from there? Is that the idea that you're trying to move over?
What do you mean?
Remember on the little back testing stuff that was being done a couple nights back. We couldn't quite remember what the tick size was in Nick's code, and we went back to NASDAQ because it didn't work.
Oh no, I'm not using that robot.
Oh, okay,
I'm just
fair
doing by hand.
Fair enough.
These are double clicks I posted. So
Okay.
it's like something you could launch if you knew what to expect. You have to have expectations of how fast the market moves. It moves pretty fast. So if I was going to throw a NASDAQ, I would throw a 2-hour expiration very far apart.
Right.
I'm talking
Right.
$1,000 apart.
Sure.
The NASDAQ, I'm trying to get the screen to show up. I see my thing here, but oh well, shit. Anyways, look at your. If you got a 5-minute NASDAQ, look at how it fell off a cliff there and then just went plummeting down. I think that's right at when the Dow Jones opens at 9:30. It fell off a cliff there. You see, I took out the low yesterday pretty hard, pretty fast. Actually, it's on a way. It broke out the hedge bots won on that one.
Okay.
I guess this is it here. This should be one of them.
NASDAQ.
So look at this here. I just put it on Discord. I can't tell. Discord's so grainy. I can't really tell what I'm looking at there.
Right.
So here's I'll mark the rectangle where it fell out of bed here. It's pretty brutal, huh?
Oh no.
So the hedge bots made a ton of money on this. So anything that was building a hedge during this 5-minute consolidation or this flag here or whatever. Here's a great one too. But this is different size, so you have to have different kind of robots that are going to glom onto this one. But these are static bots that could only make money from breakouts from these ranges. So when it sees this range here, it gets a little chopped up. Doesn't do too bad, but there's no robot to come in here. This would all be limit fills down here. So while you're getting limited fill, when the market gets quiet, there's trades.
I agree.
This would be the obvious limit fill. Is this last vacuum here? I think. Let's see if I can make sure I've got everything in sync here. So yeah, this is the last beat down, so to speak. So the on the 15th, you know, a lot of people are going to probably bail. There's only, I mean, it's the stocks are closed. They could probably bail right here, I'd say. If you can make it to the close up in here, probably get out. I don't know what the spread's going to happen. I think the spread stays pretty tight here into the end, but the market just stands still. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I think they'll let you out, but gold markets kind of opens and closes, where this I think is open all the time. Yeah. So, anyways, today was crazy because when you took out this floor here, people lost their fucking mind, and right here, this notch.
I did.
And the biggest feeding frenzy must have been, well, they didn't get this data, so they didn't stop this guy out, so to speak. You guys put the stop back there. But it's one of those days. It's still carving out new lows, you know. That's what they do.
Look at the euro. It's still carving out. Looks like it's going to go to no man's land very shortly. It's about time the euro and the dollar were par.
The dollar's crushing the it's crushing everything. Yeah, I'm running this other broker. Look at the pound CAD. So a lot of things are in like very insane. If you ever trade pound CAD, let me turn it around here.
You need a bigger account for that. The swings, I think, are too crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it's just mind blowing. I don't trade it, but look at structure-wise here. Look at the lows on this. It's just mind-blowingly deep. Gotta fix the scale on that one too. Jeez, what the hell's going on here?
What do you see on the NASDAQ on the 4-hour? It looks to me like they're... It's hard to tell. 4-hour on the NASDAQ looks like it's consolidating for the last few days. It's basically a huge range, but it's just sawtoothing up and down.
I guess the 30-minute looks like you should buy, like it's going out of style, so I think I'm going to do that.
Right.
To the close. I got to use these tickets. I wrote them, so I feel the need to use them. Compelled to use them. They say you've got them smoke them, right? That's how that works.
It's a ticket laying compulsion.
Well, I want to fire them off here. I just got to get used to clicking the button here. So in the 5 minutes, you've got a rally. Switch it over here to the proper screen.
NASDAQ is my experience. If you can catch the breakout or the trend in the morning, it usually tries to stay in more or less one direction for a little bit of time, but then you better be able to bail out. So you have to really take little chunks out of it at a time. The 4 hour to me looks like it's just been ranging, but it's a monster range.
Well, I guess it depends what you're up for. I think in the 4
Right.
hour, you got to be a buyer on these dips.
Go back a bit further. Go back a bit further, Simpleton.
Wait a second.
Time. You'll see the
I gotta see what you're looking at.
the wave that I'm talking about.
Oh no, these are, dude. These even in a 1K, this is like.
Yeah, look at. I mean, look
five,
at that.
That's like
yeah, for sure.
$1,000.
Phew.
Oh yeah, that's a daily. Like if you could afford to sell up here.
Oh.
So here's your supply window. Just all these rooftops really is just shit. Let's pull this thing up. So on the daily, there's a notch up here.
Hmm.
So you take out the high of that day, and you take out the high. So this is the high we saw on Friday. Did that whole drama. I streamed the morning of that. So yes, that was insane, Bill. So if you could afford to do that trade, and you have to zoom in to see what that trade looked like when it unfolded. Little forensics here, and you go down to the 4 hour. You see that the same juicy shelf of supply takes out the high of the week, starts going these $10 handles, and if you had a little crop up in here, your ratio is how much again? You sold here and you held it to today. See, that's what guys do. They do. Well, here are 21 ratios on my supply and demand system. Sean Connery's supply and demand system. But don't you want to be the guy selling into this? That's what I want to be. I want to be early vacuum entry guy. So right now today, if you would have bought the Lonely Wick, you could have cashed and bagged it above the Lonely Wick today. You could have had a whole nest down here and double loaded. You could have rinsed and repeated this, or you were a seller into the obvious bottom. It comes to top on wicks. Not quite closed, but at least on wicks. It's your classic, the people that bought here thinking it's going to go up. I guess anybody who has a trend line like this is going to think that, right? They've had a trend line, the technical analysis idea. I got a trend line like this.
Yeah, let me draw it like that for sure.
And you think it's, so when it comes back to your thing, you go, I bought here. We put a stop in here, or a mental stop, and when it comes back to here, people get out. It's a pivot. It just becomes a natural pivot. Even the guy that bought with his stop down here, you can see all these people kind of decided to bail. This guy here is like, well, shit. They took him out again. Like, so the guy that re-racks.
Yeah.
So that's just the view of the losing trader, but, in the end, this is just a 1 hour NASDAQ. In the end, it's like you could be any one of these guys to make money. You could be the guy that put the sells in here. Good ratios on that, even if you cashed out into the tops, the last known tops in the 1 hour. So you're looking at the market like this, and you're like, okay, dude, what's the next trade? Like, so that for the these vacuums are all over the place. So if you had sell limits in this vacuum, you're really a tight entry guy. Never makes it quite back to the Asian floor, and then kabloom, a whammo, right? This just shearing down 1 hour bam. But if you got a nest down here,
it just ripped everyone's face
right,
off.
you could have done a double load here. So if you're on your tablet and you go, yeah, I got a script that buys fucking every 50. I haven't wrote that one yet, but
what was that? What was that distance on the NASDAQ on that bar, brother? From the top of that big bar.
Oh, that's like about $2,000 on a 1K or something.
Holy shit! So,
or $200 on a 1K. I don't know.
Wow.
It's a $10 handles you're looking at there.
Okay.
The spread is $1, so you can barely see the spread. It's $1.12 for the spread, and that's $10 handles. So yeah, I think it's going to be $10. So that's going to be whatever. I think that's about what is it? $130 or $180 per ticket there, just on one ticket.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $180.
Right.
So 2 tickets to Paradise is about 400
Okay.
bucks, 400 bucks. So if you traded wide, which I'm not, I'm pushing these because I'm just playing around, so I'm really pushing them pretty
Right.
hard. Right up against
Right.
the market, like watch this drop. I think I
Mhm.
got the hotkeys set, I hope. Well, I know I moved the files, so now when you move the files, you got to reset the path for the hotkey. But here, I got them at double click. So if you turn on the navigator, I'm going to double click a buy limit. I'm going to go to a 15-minute chart here, 5-minute chart. I'm underneath the market now with
Okay.
expirations of 15. This is 10 pips. Waiting for a tick to come in for that to launch. I don't know what the timeout is on it. But this broker kind of goes offline here at this time of night anyways. So he's not, broker doesn't have a tick coming in, so it's not going to run. But as soon as it does, it's going to buy every 10 handle with a 40 pip stop for 15 minutes. And the top ticket is a trend, is a greedy target. And I put a greedy target today, risk 30 to make 60, 25 to make 35. So you can make all sorts of increments here. It's a bottomless pit, right? So when you get to what your style of how tight do you want to run your stops and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a trucker with 100 gears, so to speak. So you can do
Well,
anything.
the idea of the tightening stops means that you're actually, what you're saying, and what I understand, and I just knew this, is that you're saying, you know what, I'm pretty confident this thing is probably gonna hit the top shelf. May not hit top Tommy, but let's take some money off the table as it's climbing, because that seems to be. I mean, you're going to put in a tighter stop because you believe, not that you're going in one direction necessarily, but that you think that that's more likely to happen than, let's say, a limit drop that's way underneath it with a big stop. So there is a little bit of a. I see there's a bit of a method to that.
Yeah, I just decided to. Well, I'm not running a trailing stops in this. I just
Right.
bail. I just bail usually if I think it's up. I'm getting out at the market, just getting out of limits for the moment, and I'm buying at the market too, but buy only right now. Try to build the buy side of this first. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, which side you start on. If you know how to counter trend trade, then trends are just fine, you know. If you're scalping the edge of the market, it's different than holding for more time in a smaller position to want to get a bigger target. Yeah, the high probability trades are certainly the inversion. Market's lower than it could ever be, and comes flying back. But having all this set up is not that easy, is it? You have to decide which one you're going to do. Are you going to buy or sell first? Sit on the sidelines waiting to get filled, or are you going to? I'd say the end of the day here, 5 p.m. A lot of people make decisions here. Also, we could just go a little bit lower in all these instruments into the close of the day. So I could start whittling things down. This pound CAD just is crazy though.
No, by 4:30, everyone was pretty much gone. It's just gonna hover for a while.
Well, it's only Monday, so people are starting to. Yeah, it's still below today's low, still below Friday's low, but it turned around right on a dime. This looks like a bullish move here. Let me see if they'll let me buy at the market. I think they're closed. That's why I can't pull the trigger. So I'm stuck in this thing. I don't know when it reopens. I guess after 5.
Should be 5 o'clock. I don't know why they closed it at 4:30.
Yeah, so that's trades. But if I go into the, I'll tell you, I wish I was trading this pound CAD. It looks great. Oh wow. Things like a floor. Pound CAD. Let's see here. Let's see what I got this guy here. Cedar. New Zealand dollar's doomed. Wow.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there, brother.
New Zealand dollar's going off a cliff. You see this?
I can't hear you at all for some reason. Is it me? I must be going fucking deaf.
So,
Full blast. I can't hear a thing. Beautiful. They slowly start turning the volume off on you, slowly.
I don't know. I mean, just sitting here, so. Anyways. Yeah. Well, you muted your mic, so that's probably what you... I can't hear you, but... No, I think it says it's working. I think it's working. No? Let's see. That's the problem. I thought it was working. Wow. Okay.
Testing 1, 2.
I can hear you now.
I can't hear anything. Maybe my computer. I don't know.
You can't hear anything? Okay. It's gone?
I don't know what's going on.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I'm muffled. Now I can hear you. Did you turn on the mic?
Yeah. Yeah. Been here the whole time. Weren't we just talking a minute
No, I know.
ago? We were just talking a minute ago.
Yeah, we were, but then you just faded. I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
Oh. No, I'm looking at New Zealand dollar here. Look at this 100 pip grid here. This thing's it's a it's a structure issue there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 4 hour. Look at the meltdown here. It's all the same, you know.
Right.
It's just complete meltdown. Look at this New Zealand dollar crashing against the dollar. It's horrific. Look at this. That's a monthly. It's pretty mind blowing. It's a pretty impressive crash. Still tanking.
Oh, you're one of
in a
the guys
downtrend.
came on. I thought it said Krusty Krabs from SpongeBob, but it's cavity crabs. My apologies.
Yeah. And it's a girl, I understand.
What's up, guys?
Someone told me it's a girl.
Hey, what's up, man? I thought it was Krusty Krab.
Yeah, man, that New Zealand USD looks like a good short.
Oh my God! It just looks like it's going to go to hell for another ungodly amount of pips. I think I've got this marked off. It's going into the abyss. Yeah, it's done.
What if
100
you
pips
take
down.
what if you take the angle it's going at and you take a line from those 3 points at the top? Do you see it retracing back to 6,400 though?
I'd say it's going to be a bloodbath in this supply zone on the monthly. Look at this, these notches here. So this little baby stairway, this is where the whole thing started. These two slots here forward, you come down here, it's going to be crazy town. But we've seen it a million times. That's 100 pip handles on those lines. That's the monthly.
Wow.
If you fix the scale, though, it doesn't look as scary. It doesn't look as... Here it looks possible target. the possibility of the target, I guess, is the thing. You know, trying to imagine some of these trades, get your head around it. Like here's the weekly. So if you zoomed out, try to make this look realistic. Look at this. Look at this perfect. So people say bottoms and tops don't happen. I know, but when they do, there's a reason, right? Because somebody's fucking. God, these phones are just brutal. Put that in a pillow. So these happen for a reason, I think, because people are rolling over their positions. They can't hold on to them. So it's right here. It's supposed to be support, becomes resistance, you know, within 100 pips there in the weekly. And then the abyss is looming. So the whole time people are like, okay, anybody that scalped into the abyss and back up into that pivot, I would get the fuck out. Like seriously, if I was going to buy that, that has to be your first target. And then we retap it. If all you did was buy, right now you're buying into this. And I guess where you have to load the wagon, if you're not in yet, I'd say, you know, you're coming in lightly here. And you're going to buy heavy the next week. You know, big swing traders are waiting to get filled, I think, or you are going to go short right here, I guess, in the 1 hour. I don't know, it's like, we kind of, what I think usually happens, people get screwed over here because now you almost have to play it from the long side and just go with bottom tick Betty and just say, yeah, you know what? Let's just put a buy limit grid down here below the low of Monday. And try to pick up something here because yeah, if it may go down all the way, but like that trade plan, of buying the lows of the previous day or the lows that works out good here, right? So you buy, and it comes back into fair value, so to speak. This anything up here, you're cashing out. So the robots, the back test I ran, that if you risk this much to make this much, you'll make this much typically. But when the market starts to go into a crush, into a giant vacuum, you would blow up that robot. So if you open the account, the master plunge bot, you know, the greedy buy bot's buying this shit. He looks like a genius. This is a 400 pip retracement back into this floor, but this is the daily chart, and for God's sakes, you know, you could probably make a living just if you could just trade like this shit for in other words, do you trade this 50 to make 100 all day long with bigger tickets, or do you trade this giant, I mean, where you're martingaling, you buy a 2K, 3K, but you're buying a 20K down here and you look like a genius as it comes back, you know, and your master swing trader with buying, you know, this is a 50K position, and by the time it got below, every 100 pips you had 1K. That's pretty light, you know, scaling in. It's like just barely feel it, but you know, in a cherry pick situation like this, but for God's sakes, that is a monthly crush. Like that's what the trade looks like on the weekly. Look at this crush here. So all this fucking inventory, all this shit here, like the reaction's just mind blowing. Like right now, anybody buying it with just for dead cat bounces on here, you know? So if I had to trade something, if somebody put a gun in my head, I'd be like, well, shit, you know, for all next week, I can't say this isn't going to go down another 200 pips, but if you're trying to start buying here for a 100 pip bounce, you're better to make 100 pips off of another. You'd have to come in 50 pips in front of it. Like I wouldn't, because it looks like a freight train to hell. Like right now, it could tip over. This is a 4-hour chart. It's about to tip into the window, right? Now how much, what's going to happen when New Zealand opens? Are they going to storm the Bastille there and go in the swimming pool too? So if everything turns into United States dollar is a flight to safety of whatever you may think about it, even though the guy that's at the helm is a drunken sailor. Anyways, yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to battle everything to the left of that, right? So you gotta say that it's gonna be shorted into